All right. All right. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Bison, aka Bison Trades, over on Twitter. Welcome back to another episode of RareFUD Radio. On today's episode, not a whole lot happening in the market. In fact, a whole lot of red. We're looking over on TradingView. It's sold down below $20 again. Sweet. Almost back to a whole dollar. Not even $1 and some change over there. Bitcoin back to 26,000. A little under 27,000. ETH back under 1,800. It just doesn't look pretty right now, which is a little strange, but we'll break it down for you guys. Figure out what is happening in the market, where you should be looking, what kind of opportunities await us. Joining me, as always, my wonderful co-host, Dorian. Dorian, how we doing today?
Hey, dog, every day is a holiday and happy to be back for another one, man. It's like the market's a bit down on the crypto side and the NFT side, but I just think this right now is a prime opportunity to prep for the next run, dude. And this is just another little bump in the cycle. Ain't nothing different than what we've gone through in the past. It can't be up only forever, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, it's 100% true. That's why I got the whole red light on behind me. It's a little red right now, but that's okay. That's okay. The market will survive. And of course, joining us today, wonderful co-host over here, Joe. Joe, how we doing today, bro?
Yo, guys, doing great, man. Doing awesome. Glad to be here. Sorry for missing the other day, but we're locked in, ready to go.
Yeah. I know you've been busy on the Web 2 side, so not a problem.
It's been crazy, man. Which is honestly, the dichotomy is a blessing because Web 2 picked up when Web 3 is dying down, so it's been a nice little even keel here and there. So definitely.
Yeah, you ain't missed much, dog. So you good.
I can see that. I lucked out.
Yeah, you haven't. I mean, just across the board, it's not really like a pretty market we got going on right now. Not a whole lot happening, and that's okay. Sometimes it's all right to have those lulls in the market, but we'll break it down for us real quick. Going over to TIEXO.com. go over to the analytics tab. If we look on the 24-hour volume, about 74,000 Solana volume, under that 100K threshold we like to see as far as a good, healthy market. Look over on Soul Sniper. It's abysmal as far as 24-hour buyers over there as well. So not looking a whole very good at all. But sometimes those not looking good moments are the times to start accumulating some stuff. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But going down the volume list, Magic Eden neck and neck with Tensor right now. It's 42, almost 43% for Magic Eden, 41.5% for Tensor. I mean, the battle is right for the taking. And I do think the next bull run or anything like that, I think Tensor has enough rewards in its back pocket to kind of just absolutely take that market share. So definitely interesting on that front. I also noticed over on TXO, they do break down what is a percent of the buy on the market side and the AMM side. So for Magic Eden, a lot of the market buyers are over there. This is really interesting for me because if you are looking for liquidity right now and you are trying to list rather than sell into collection bids, maybe you're trying to have the buyer pay for the royalties or anything like that. 83.7% of the volume over on Magic Eden is actually done on the market, so not through AMMs, not through collection bids or anything like that. The AMM side is 16.3%. Tensor, on the other hand, tends to have better liquidity on these collection bids. So if you're looking on that side, you have almost 63% of the volume over there is on the AMM side. So collection bids, market making, any of the features that you have over there versus the market itself, which is about 37% of the volume over there. Hades Swap sitting right at 10,000 Solana volume. What's new? Exchange Art is actually the fourth highest, so it's above Elixir now. It's good for one art for sure. But just looking over at that, I'm not sure. Is 660 Solana volume over on Exchange Art? Maybe one art's picking back up, but I gotta say, there's just been a lot of. What happened over there, Dor? Okay?
Nah, just something heavy drop, dog. Hopefully it's fine.
Okay.
Oh my! I thought someone got shot, bro. I was
Nah, dog.
PTSD kicked
Earthquake
in for a
happened yesterday,
second.
but your boy's all good here right now.
Goodness gracious, I was just making sure the
Aftershocks, B. Blame it on the aftershocks, bro.
I'm making sure. Yeah, the market's just down
Wifey asked,
bad.
"Yo, why my vase break?" Aftershocks, honey. Aftershock.
Well, I thought the cartel was breaking down his door or something like that. You always got to worry about door over there, he's over in Mexico.
No man's land, the wild, wild west out here.
Ricky Bobby.
You ever hear that over in Jacksonville? You probably got a crackhead knocking on your door or something like that. So,
yeah, bro. Jacksonville's scary. Jacksonville's not a. You don't play too many games in the outskirts of Jacksonville.
So yeah, some parts are. I would say that there's definitely I don't want to say anything because I'm still under realtor guidelines and I don't want to consider that steering. But there is a certain part of the city I would not even drive down in the middle of the day. There's not a shot. So I had most major cities like that. Nonetheless, market looking just mad right now. You look at underlying asset prices. That's kind of the scary part to me. And I don't know where Dor keeps going. His connection keeps going in and out. So. Hi, Dor. Welcome back.
Sorry.
It's all good. So looking at underlying asset prices, I mean, just Solana's below $20, which Joe absolutely hit it. Yeah, guys, if you're not following Joe on Twitter, you're missing out on literally, he calls it free game. It's free game. He literally giving you playbooks on what he looks at for his plays. And some of it might look like, astrology for men, as some of the people on the tech side of things would say. But it works, and it's really scary. I mean, I've heard people call him the Marin of TA. It's kind of crazy, but
Joe's TA is out, it's out of this world, man. Next level, completely.
Yeah, it's voodoo witch doctor shit, but that's besides the point. Anyways, I am looking at Bitcoin below 27,000, Ethereum below 1,800. It's just not great across the board. I gotta say, one of the worst looking charts in crypto right now is Matic. Matic has to look like the worst looking chart I've ever seen in my life. This is just straight.
It doesn't make any sense, man. Such a great change, strong community, Nat VC funded, dog. What's going on? Most liquidity, it's going to be good, man. Right? What's happening there?
I mean, I see a little across the board. So there's, if you're not familiar with financial terms, there's systematic risk and then there's unsystematic, right? Systematic means market wide, right? It's affecting everybody in that market, particularly in that market sector. And then you have unsystematic, which is related to the ticker or the asset itself. So the systematic risk, everything's going down right now. Papa Bitcoin deciding he wants to tank. Everybody else is like, yep, we're out. So altcoins heavily rely on Bitcoin. It's been a little less correlated in recent years compared to like 2017, where you were basically staring at the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin looked good, alts good. I mean, Bitcoin looked bad, alts bad. I mean, like it was heavily correlated. Or Bitcoin go up, alts down, kind of like how we see in NFTs. Like alts were basically a bet on volatility of Bitcoin. It's a little better now, but the Bitcoin's dragging down the market. And Matic just looks, dude, this coin is straight up going to 75 cents. That would be my first area of interest. Like anywhere in that 75, 77 cent range. Outside of that, I mean, that's probably one of the worst looking charts right there. Aptos also right there with it. I mean, like Aptos probably going to 750. Just blood in the streets right now. That being said, if you didn't catch a short, this is probably not the time to short. Like I think you missed your optimal entry on the shorts. It's being patient to wait for optimal entry on longs. And that would be how I play this game. Now, unless you're Joe, who just, you know,
it's a madman.
Ball into, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's door long-term trade, right? We're DCAing in, you know, anywhere from like the teens to eights for Solana, and that was fine. Joe's the one who trades in intraday more so. Like he does like a scalp swing trades most of the time. And I'm more of like the swing guy, and I invest on the long term. So yeah, I mean, looking at this, Joe, is there anything that you're looking at right now that you're like, this is a tasty trade to make right now? Not financial advice, of course. We're just bozos trading JPEGs on the internet, but what are you looking at right now?
Yeah, so for crypto purposes, so for your underlying asset you're going to need to play with our ecosystem, I definitely would say there's some macro levels coming up that would be positions of strength, right? Throwing mud at the wall right now is dicey because we're at a very critical level at 25K for BTC, right? Let's cut out all the semantics. 25K, below that it gets dicey, right? And it'll pull down alts. Above that, it'll pull up alts. So right now, not a great time to enter a trade if you're not very good with leverage and scalping 0.5 to 1-2% moves, right? Right now would be a time to look, you know, between like almost uppers 15 to 18.5, 18.7 for Solana, you know what I'm saying? BTC down in that 25 range, right above 25, right, for that support bounce. Those would be, and you know, Ethereum, same thing, you know, right around 16.95, like all these big areas of support, right? You buy at support, invalidations below support, because if it breaks below, you switch short on the market, because this is a huge macro invalidation point. So yeah, so it basically comes down to positions of strength at support. Do you trust that support? Do you trust our ecosystem, or do you think we're going lower? So for me, if I was waiting, I'm waiting for those strong supports to come in, bidding those levels, so I don't have to worry about market buying and try to catch a dump, and trusting the support with like a 5 to 10% stop loss below that invalidation, right? Because in turn, you are wrong. You lose 5 to 10% of that position, which should only be 1 to 3% of your full portfolio, and you switch short in the market. Nothing really happens to you. No harm, no foul. If you catch that long at intra long levels, you can then scalp this long all the way back up, right? Without ever needing more margin. You can up your leverage, take out money. There's all these places, but you can never get these many opportunities unless you bid positions of strength, which are coming up here, I think, in the next couple of weeks. Because I do think, for me, end of summer and on, I think we do have a good crypto pump. We usually do, coming into the halving, coming to elections. This is cyclical. I'm used to this, so that's what I'm counting on. I'm back testing the years in crypto, and I'm doing the same thing I always do.
I think those are great points. I 100% agree. I do think we get a healthier retracement than most people are expecting. I mean, right now, I mean, just looking at Sol, because that's usually the chart I look at the most. If we don't really hold like 19.6, 19.5 ish, I think we go down to 19 pretty easily. And then past that, it looks pretty ugly until like 16.5. So that would be like the just immediate reaction, what I would look at on the chart of like points of interest for me. But Joe's going to give you game on Twitter. Again, if you're not following Joe on Twitter, like he'll detail kind of a thought process when it comes to these trades. Door, as a long-term trader, what are you looking at right now in the market?
Oh, dog, I'm looking to pick up more NFTs when people start flooring stuff, man. I ain't worried about Sol. We can range we were here when Sol was $8 and everybody thought it was going to zero. So your boy's sitting good. I don't care. It can range from 16 to 25. I don't give a damn. That shit's going to pump back to 240 plus in the future. So I'm just sitting here chilling. Everybody, I don't trade short term. So as long as it's like it goes down, it goes back up. I'm like, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah. And I mean, Sol's just one of those. I mean, for me, thinking long term, putting on my Dorian cap real quick. I just look at Sol and I just see, look, we got into BRC20 tokens. I think Bitcoin is always going to be that store value and everything like that. Outside of that, it's BRC20 is not fun to trade. Like, there's no fun over here. It is, we're just taking advantage of deep liquidity over there.
Oh, yeah.
Ordinals are not fun to trade. I don't think they have much use case past being inscribed on the blockchain forever. And I'm happy to be pointed wrong. We definitely have some, BRC20 and Ordinal people coming up on the docket as far as people who, I think we have, Are You Fat is coming up end of May, right? So I'm definitely intrigued to talk to them. But Ethereum, not scalable. Any of the solutions I see put forward, it's just like all over the place. I don't think there's consensus on how they're going to scale. They're going to do it through L2s, and those L2s really aren't doing anything for me right now. I look at them and I'm like, it's not it. Solana has, and I see this, I look at YouTube analytics all the time. I actually just talked with Mamba 248 on Twitter. I was talking about like we don't have Mamba 248. He's a Boogle. You'll see him on. But he was posting about we don't have enough content creators about Solana on YouTube, and I was telling him, he was like, these are all the topics I would cover, and I showed him there's nobody searching for that right now. What's going to happen is like all the people searching for Solana right now are looking for Solana price predictions, Solana go up, Solana. That is going to precede this before we start talking about any of this. Now, there are a couple of different things that I do see people searching for that he did touch up on. I think they're really good points. One is the saga, which we like. If you guys have a saga and you are not making videos about it, like I'm thinking about picking up a saga solely so I can make videos about it, and it would be really cool to have that tech on hand. But that is an incredible piece of tech that we are not accessing on Solana nearly enough. Like, I don't see enough hype about it, and there are so many searches for it. Like, a third of the searches for Solana are coming from the saga or Solana phone, searching for that stuff. Another one is Solana games. Now that makes me happy, obviously, as part of the Heist team. But outside of Heist, we got Photo Finish, we got Honeyland, we got Moonfrost coming up. Outside of that, I don't really know a whole lot of games that have gained any sort of traction in the market. And Solana itself needs to be like, we would love some developer costs, covered from the Solana Foundation. Like, how can we grow this game and scale it out to the future and showcase it on Solana Saga and stuff? Like, those are things that Solana needs.
I'd love some freaking grants from Solana Foundation for pumping Solana on this show.
I mean, we've talked about it before. I do think they're going to do a better job of it. I think right now they're working on like the undeniable, once this is out, Fire Dancer, for instance, once that is out, like Solana is 100% the best tech on the market. You can't even dispute it. Anybody who's disputing it hasn't used it before. It's kind of like my argument where I have a lot of iPhone Maxi friends and Mac Maxi friends, and I know Dorian's one of them, but we can get into that. I'm pretty sure Joe is also a Mac user. And then I say, like, man, I would love to switch back over to Android. And most of the time, the response I get from those people are, Android, my dad uses that. I'm like, well, have you ever used an Android? They're like, no. And I'm like, okay, there you go. Like, and that's the ETH. ETH is Apple, and you guys haven't used Solana, which is Android. So look, the people who do use it, like, we got a lot of friends. Curb, we saw in NYC, came from ETH, and he's like, I love Solana. This is great. I think it is just so poised for the future that buying Solana right here just makes so much more sense than buying anything else. It makes so much more sense. I would be my holdings are Bitcoin, Solana. That is pretty much it as far as my long-term bags go. Everything else I'm in and out of. I'm doing the whole JoeSol trading sort of thing, but Bitcoin, Solana, that's it. And I don't know if you guys saw, before we get into some NFT news and everything like that, Wormhole is actually going to open up SoBTC, so you can basically trade Bitcoin on Solana. So you will be able to have Solana could become an L2 for Bitcoin, and theoretically speaking, with
Yes.
this technology. Like, we have access to deep liquidity through Wormhole, and people like Solana, people can have access to Bitcoin, and you can have all that fluidity in the market. If Bitcoin people are like, yeah, like I have a lot of transactions I want to make, but I want to use my Bitcoin to do so, you port that over to Solana. You can use SoBTC if you want to. You can transfer it to Solana or USDC. It's just such a more fluid market. So I think a lot of people like overlook that fact. Solana may become the best place to trade Bitcoin. I think that is so huge for us. Like,
Yeah.
this is just another bullish case. We got compression of NFTs. We got SoBTC. We got Fire Dancer coming. We got the Saga. Like, tell me another chain that has that right now. Tell me.
Yeah, and like, I know people talk about like, oh, but Sui and Aptos, these are the next things, the coding language. Look, while all that may be true, everything sounds good until it's put under stress. And I think we saw that with a lot with we saw that a lot with Sui, we saw that a lot with Aptos, we saw that a lot with both of those chains, because it's like all this theoretical stuff sounds good until you get people starting using it, bots started trying to get mints, and then things start not working as they're supposed to. So every chain is going to go through their growing pains. Solana is leagues ahead of these other chains. I'm talking about miles. How many shutdowns did we have the last couple years due to mints, over the past year and a half, because of mints and stuff? So I'm bullish on Solana's future, but in this downtime, I'm going to take advantage of other opportunities out there so I can accumulate more Solana at lower prices. So just because I might bounce from Solana, any other liquidity I make from other chains, I'm bringing it back home, Bubba.
At 100%. And, I want to touch up on that. We can go into it too, because there's few and far between to talk about in the realm of NFTs right now, right? I think this is a good time to start scoping out entries. I don't think this is necessarily a time to start pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
I would wait
real
to
quick
see.
on that, B.
Yeah.
I'd like to get your perspective, because, like, Cyber Samurai, and we got some things cooking that's going to be coming up here pretty soon. And it's interesting because a lot of projects continue to mint in these terrible environments. And I'm like, yo, why are you guys minting like right now? Do you guys not recognize the market sentiment? Do you guys not recognize how the mood of the entire ecosystem right now? Like, I think it's better. Like, Wasta's a cool dude. Unfortunately, he decided to mint today, and I'm like, why, dog? You shot yourself in the foot. I just don't understand. So, and another project that is coming out that I've been seeing around for a while now, it's called hold on, give me 1 second. It's called Vibe Nights.
Oh, Vibing Kingdom. Yeah, that's Bustos project.
Yeah, that's minting on the 13th, which is a Saturday. And there we go, weekend mints and minting in a terrible market. Like, why, dude? It's like, I think under different market conditions, this thing would sin. But now I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good take, Dor, because one, Vibing Kingdom or the Vibe Pass is one. I like the art on it. I gotta say, Bustos, dude, he's been pushing this vibe train so much. He did it with Bitmon, he did it with Monkettes and stuff like that. I think this is one, like, a really good IP. I think you could do something fun with it, but this has been in the works for like a year now. It feels like, I mean, Vibe Nights have been here for like, they were teased literally a year ago at this point, and are just now coming out. And I'm right there with you. Now, the one thing I will say is that there are people who probably have been working on this project for ages, and they're like, we need to realize some sort of revenue right now, which, if you're in that boat, I feel for you, man. I totally get it. Like, we with Heist, we kind of timed it to where we probably could have released something sooner. We probably could have added more features on release, but we looked at the market and we said, we need to mint now. We're like, this is a really good time to mint. We need to mint now. And so that's not so much a product of like, oh, these guys released something that wasn't finished. Like, Heist was playable 24 hours after launch, but nonetheless, like, we knew we could sit there and build out a ton of stuff. But if we're going to maximize revenue, to make this a longevity sort of play, like, you need to mint now. So there's a couple of things I would say. One is, I feel for people that have been building for a while and they're just like, we need revenue right now. I'm on my last breath. I made this a startup. We haven't realized any revenue yet. We need to. That would be my first initial reaction. Then the other one is, if they're minting right now, they're like either one, a cash grab, or two, maybe they're trying to do a degen mint. I actually think we see a degen mint season here soon.
That's fine. Like I think degen mints are fine because it is what it is with those. But when you're a solid project trying to do it under these conditions, it's just like, I understand the need for liquidity, but dog, you're hurting yourself. Literally, you're hurting yourself doing it right now.
And I agree, Dor, and I agree. And I think what people fail to remember is project founders get so caught up in trying to deliver and mint and get it done and get it out of the way because there's so much stress holding on to it. But they don't think about the paradigm of the hive mind of collectors at that moment in the market. And right now we're in despair, right? There's meme coin season. People feel FOMO. Like 3 to 5% of people actually made real money during that. The rest lost. They're down to their last penny. They're going to try to make it back. What do they want to do? They want what Bison explained, right? They want the degen mints, right? They're going to throw their last mud at the wall in hopes that it sticks. We're in that despair and anger part of the market. People are not like Dorian. Both of these guys made great sense. Like we're not in the point of the market, like Dorian said, where people are going to sit down and really mint things out because they want to use the utility, flip the volume. We're not there. So like if you're trying to put out an actual quality product right now during this time in the market, the paradigm doesn't match, right? You're not getting the investor you want. So I think founders, and it what's a shame, and I can speak on this, you know, I'm 30 years old. Most of these kids are young kids. They're not even out of college yet. They have no idea how to run a business. They have no idea how to do really anything when it comes to business development, marketing, building infrastructure, delegating tasks, killing, you know, quieting employees that aren't X10 employees, right? All these things that go into actually running successful business, these kids don't understand it. They don't get it. So when they try to deliver products at certain times in the market, that just shows me by their actions, they're not with it yet, right? So it really takes a keen individual to come into our market anymore and sell out and get quality volume. Because guess what? We've been through the bull crap. And even if people don't think about it, you want a quality product and project. So that'd be my 2 cents. I just wanted to tie in what Bison and Dorian said there, because I think it all comes into a melting pot of why projects are not successful at certain times. They don't understand that time of the market, right? That investor paradigm at that time. It's relative and it switches very much so every other week, every other month. You have to be on the sentiment. You have to be on the hive mind. You got to be, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was well said, Joe. And another thing in that I wanted to add to timing, in a sense, is also networkability, I guess, in the ecosystem. It's hard for new projects to mint out these days without having deep connections. One of the reasons I think Claynosaurus was so successful in their mint and pre-sale is because they networked with the proper people in the ecosystem. Without doing that or establishing that core base of supporters, whether that be Boogles, other notable communities within the ecosystem. I think Oogie is another clear example of this. That DeGod connection is strong, man. And Bison and I were like, we didn't understand it, and I guess in a sense we faded it because we didn't pick it up, but I won't be fading anything connected to DeGods anymore. Not going to happen. If it's somebody launching from DeGods, that community's insanely strong. They're about to flip mutant apes on ETH, just to let you guys know. But yeah, man, I faded that DeGod connection and see what happened there. So anytime you're launching something in this ecosystem, if you're not having those deep connections where you have like overall support from some of the top holders or top communities, it's probably not going to do well. And I think we're seeing a lot of that with these mints of not having solid connections and improper timing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Right now, minting is going to be tough. Just with the attention span and the few market participants we have, like it's not just on our chain, it's across all chains. The ones that are left are like the ones, if you're still left and you're still watching this and you're still very curious about crypto, believe me, I dipped out after 2018. Like I was so downtrodden. I was like, I lost, I just watched like 90% of my portfolio unrealized value just get absolutely washed out. And I just left. There were some other things that happened too, like my Web2 job where I was going to work in crypto. I was so mad and my employer ghosted me on it. I was so upset. That's another story for another time. But I left in 2018. I missed Chainlink. Chainlink literally crushed it during that bear cycle. So there is always opportunities. I missed DeFi summer. And I just so happened to get back in right around the time that like ETH NFTs were really popping off. And then Solana was like really coming in. I bought Solana, March of 2021 or so, I think, if I remember correctly. It was like $13 a pop, and I was like, man, this chain is sick. This is amazing. And I was lucky enough to get in pretty early on NFTs, but at the same time, like, because I wasn't around, I lost so much opportunity. So if you were still around, if you're still looking to learn and just like staying connected in this community, I think there's going to be a ton of opportunity, and you are the one who is going to be here on the ground up and watch your portfolio value rise, get in with technology, and connect with people that are still here as well. The people that are still here building are the ones you probably want to connect with more so than the grifters at the top of a bull cycle. So
great point, B. That's a solid point.
That's well said, man. And I haven't been around in crypto since 2020. I came in on the Dogecoin wave. That's when I got in. But I wasn't in during the last bear market. But like, honestly, this bear cycle hasn't been that bad, man. I don't know if it's because of NFTs. I don't know what it is, but like, there's been ample opportunity for gains in this bear market. We saw it with Bond. NFTs are still being traded, and you can make a ton of lick off that. We see meme coins pumping. So if you are involved and you are around, there's ample opportunity to make a stack before the next bull run.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Sorry, I was just looking at some heist stuff going live. Recruitment did end. So if you guys did enter in a raffles, I think results are posted now, but I was having trouble just like 5 minutes ago trying to check it out. So yeah.
My buddy spent 2.7 million Nana and got 37 contracts. He spent 2.7 million himself, though. How crazy is that?
Oh, wait, he got 37. He hit 37?
37, but he bought 2.7 thousand contracts.
That's okay. That's okay. That's a really good return, actually.
I know, it's amazing. It's a really good return. But think about having the cojones to dump 2.7 million Nana into that, bro.
That's insane, dog.
Well, okay, we'll talk after the stream on who that was, because I want to know. But anyways, yeah, going back to it, look, if you're still around, if you're still here building, if you're still curious about we do appreciate you. Like, we see our numbers too. Yeah. We see our numbers are kind of stagnant on where we were hitting a little growth, and that's because crypto's going down. Like, we see our numbers go down with the market. They come back up when the market's hot. We see it all. So if you are still around, we appreciate you. Thank you guys so much. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure if you are listening on podcast when we do release this episode to add us onto your download list, and make sure you leave a review. It does help a ton. Please do that. Okay, let's get into some NFTs, because we have talked a lot about overall perspective on everything like that. But let's talk about SWE first. I want to go over to SWE because I feel so bad in the sense that they got smacked by meme coin season.
Yeah, dog. It's just worst timing.
Why? Because why would you go over there? One, I don't think there's anything wrong with the SWE network itself. I mean, the SWE network will always have its growing pains. Any new chain does, but Clutchy kind of absolutely crippled their movement going to the upside. It was not a fun place to trade. Looking over at Fuddies, which I think is like the flagship NFT until further notice, it's probably going to be, and I do think Fuddies has some, they did dip down to like 80 SWE. Now they're back at 144. So props to you if you did get in. But also at the same time, I exited with like $100, $150 profit. And I was like, okay, done and dusted, because I set my criteria. If you guys didn't listen to the episode where we covered this, it was the episode before Manny. But I basically said, if Fuddies don't 3X right out the gate, I'm taking my profit and I'm heading out. Now that they've gone back to 144, like, I sold most of them anywhere from 138 to 150. So I came out with a good bit of profit. I mean, like 150 on 1,000 risk, I think it was, between the sweet trades and everything like that. Nothing to write home about. I totally could have been just fine trading shitcoins on Solana if I wanted to keep it over there. But Sweet went down. Like, most people bought in around like that high 120s to 130s range. If you didn't get in on the early adopter phase where you got to put $40 and you basically 50x from there. But yeah, I don't know. This chain, I think, is on pause until further notice. Like, I have no interest in trading SWE. I already said it. They don't 3x out the gate. Not interested in the chain. I'd rather stay over on Solana, look at BRC20 and Ordinals because we've been meaning to do that. It was so nice. If you guys haven't seen that episode with Manny, like you are missing out. Literally, he dropped the whole playbook. The whole playbook on how to trade BRC20 tokens. It was amazing. But I'm more interested in that right now. So, guys, what are your opinions on SWE? Do you think it has any shot of pulling an Aptos or Near or Kanto in the future? Or do you think it's kind of dead on arrival? Let's go with Door first and then Joe.
Yeah, it's kind of dead on arrival, man. Unfortunately, like we don't see revival of NFT seasons in these chains once they've launched. Swedes just launched at the worst time possible. People's attention was just completely focused on meme coins, and if you can get a 100x or a 5 to 10x easier and more liquid with these meme coins than going into SWE, where hopefully somebody buys your NFT on a marketplace that barely even works. So yeah, man, it just sucks for SWE. But like, if I had a FUD, I'd probably floor it right now and come back later. A lot of the liquidity over there, in my opinion, came from Solana. And as I know Solana folks, they cannot hold an NFT for a long time. So I think the floor price will go down based on historical evidence of how Solana operates. And then I'll just look into picking up FUDs later. And guess what? If FUDs pumps from here, which I don't think it will, so at least in the next month or month and a half, I just missed that boat. But guess what? I think you might be able to get a lower entry somewhere else. And honestly, I might even pick up one. I like the art. I think Rain's pretty cool. So yeah, man, it just sucks for SWE, man.
Yeah, 1 minute. I agree. Joe, what's your take on this? And I got to show this off in a second. But what do you think about SWE? I mean, like, do you think there's any hope for SWE in the near term? I should say, like, let's say in the next 3 months or so.
Yeah, from a strictly market making standpoint, once it gets forgotten enough, RSI cools off enough, you'll have market makers accumulate this, just like they did with Aptos and any other low float coin token before unlocks start, right, in 6 months. So yeah, do I think it'll pump still to like $2 or $3? I think there's a high percentage. I'd say 65-70%. That it goes, maybe $2, $3, just because of market makers. Now that's up until the unlock, right? Probably prior that'll get front run and it'll get dumped again. From an actual like builder standpoint, no, I don't think it's going to hold too much. Like if you're going to build a game or something, you're probably going to come to Solana first, right? Like it's just, we already have the infrastructure. What they're trying to do is be a tad bit faster than us, right? A tad bit better at storing things. And it's like, you got to prove that when your network's getting hit hard, right? We've had our network get hit very hard, and we understand what happens, and we've kind of had that tinks in our armor where we can come through and weld those spots stronger.
But also,
so yeah,
it's a thing. That's a great point that you made, Joe. I also think it's about users as well. More users are on Solana than there are on SWE right now, and more individuals would be open to playing a game on Solana than they would be on SWE. Like I'm not going to bridge over or go out and test it, especially seeing the airdrop happen. Like, why am I going over there to play a game? Like, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so from two standpoints, right? From a just trader standpoint, yeah, there might be a deep value to be had here under $1, but from like an actual user consumer of blockchains, no, I'm not looking at it.
Yeah,
except FUDs, right? I do think FUDs, if SWE does well, FUDs will then be the main. So right, there is a value to be had with FUDs right now, like even at $1. So yeah, so FUDs I think is an outlier, but the other two things I said stand true still.
Yeah, I would say Mist and Labs would be well within their rights to pump that really hard because that gets people interested in the chain. Now, here's a counter thesis, and why I think they won't is because they've come out and said we're for gaming, which if you guys don't know what the competitive advantage is of SWE compared to other chains, because I actually see this, and I do think it's a really good use case, is dynamic NFTs and how it's structured over there. And what do I mean by dynamic NFTs? Well, they can change on event. So, the stuff we do over in Heist is actually done off chain, and we can change the metadata almost, we have a script to change it almost immediately, right? But it takes scripts to do that. They actually have core infrastructure on their NFTs where, let's say you level up or something, that's automatically uploaded into the NFT metadata. Let's say you're evolving, like you're in Pokemon, right? And you're evolving. It automatically updates. It's this kind of stuff that automatically happens where we have to do that manually. and we set up scripts and everything like that. They already have the infrastructure to do that. So I do think I see a lot of people that are like, Mist and Labs should pump fuddies. They should if they want money to come over. Now, the one thing I'll say is that they probably are looking at it like, we don't want the Solana people to come over, and I don't blame them. Solana people are looking strictly for value on how can I make floor price go up, right? Nothing wrong with it. We're traders by nature. We have a very frictionless blockchain, and that's just always going to be the environment we're conducive to. However, it's not good for long-term investment. Like we see all the OG collections. The only one that's still around really is SMB. Tayo had a nice sweep the other day too, so there could be something cooking up with that. I'll talk about that later. But DeGods and Utes move for a reason. Like there was no more growth potential over on their
we're profit maxis here, not long-term vision, offloading eventually. Like we're profit maxis. We eat each other.
Which I don't have any problem from, like, personally, right? Like I don't DJ and Ape Academy. Yeah, they're still around, but their floor price is not nearly as big as it once was, JoeSol. So I would say like SMB, also was at its peak and then had the whole drama with Hades DAO. I mean, just look at the longevity of the investment over there versus ETH. Like even some of these Bored Ape yacht clubs, they're down from their 150 ETH floor, and ETH was $4,000 or whatever you want to call it. But like it's just not as conducive. People don't have as much faith in the long-term vision of a project compared to others. So I'm not sure. Like I don't blame them. It's a different type of liquidity you're getting from Solana, which they're probably like, yeah, we don't want the fuddies too much. Like I'm sure they'll pump them a little bit. They've already come out. I know some people from the Miston team have already come out and said we bought them. They bought like expensive ones too, like 1,600 SWE fuddies. So I think there is some hope over there. You want to see the success of SWE. You're going to see fuddies in the short term, but I do think there is a niche that is going to be carved out over there. I just have no interest in keeping liquidity over there right now, right? Like it is BRC20 and Ordinals and Solana NFTs. That's all I care about. And if I can ever afford one, I would go into a DeGod over on ETH. That's it. That's all I care about.
Well, it's smart because if a lot of people feel like FOMO in all these areas and then they take like a large position and then sprinkle it in 16 different avenues and they only have a niche and want to be one or two, like your value proposition is just sticking to what you know and what you feel comfortable in, even if that FOMO is there. Like with Sweet, there's like, unlimited upside because we don't know anything about it, right? So it could go as high as who knows exponentially, but it could also go as low on the same dividend. So, but you feel that niche, right? If you've been in Solana NFTs for a while, just because the volume's low and like this is when you stick around. You don't leave now because when the next upswing, you'll be back in FOMO and again. So you just got to stick to your guns where you have confidence. And even if you're not putting capital into that portion of your portfolio, you still keep your eye on it and you wait, right? And you hang out and you wait for that natural upswing with positions of strength. So yeah, I agree with you, man.
Yeah, 100%. So I don't see any like interest for me personally over there, but that's just my 2 cents. I'm trying to see right now, so I'll show you guys in a second real quick why I think this recruitment was actually really fun and cool. We don't have the NFTs yet, or at least do I have them in my wallet, my NFT management? I think they're just gonna be airdropped to me. So yeah, they're not in just yet. We just have the results of them. But if we look at this, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because I think it's really interesting. If we go over here and then we go to Heist and then I'm going to share and we're going to go to the social tab. So just so you guys know, this is not rigged or anything like that. I bought 250 contracts and only got 2 NFTs. Yeah.
Oh yeah. You got 2.
But the cost basis to break even essentially on EV was like 120,000 Nana. So I'm just or 100,000 Nana or something like that. So I just got cucked a little bit. But we can check all the recruitments. This is sick. I think this is so fun. Like they got a 50, like they won 4 NFTs on 200 contracts. I got 251. They beat me out on this, right? I definitely see who won a ton. This is Tyler. I'm guessing this is who you're talking about. Who
Tyler.
Contracts. Yeah, that is a lot. He actually came away with the bag because that's under 100K Nana. That's actually like 67 if I'm doing, or 70,000 ish Nana per recruit. That's a really good price. He got in like free, dude, free. Later Nerd also bought like 1.8 million Nano worth and got 29, so also had a really good return. The funny part is you can actually steal them. So if you had a gorilla, and I got to see if I stole any. I don't think I did. You did. Look at that, Joe. You stole one from Tyler. Look at that.
No way. Shut up.
Wait, no, you had one of yours stolen.
Oh
by
my God.
Tyler.
Stop it. Stop it. He stole one of mine, the one I would win. Oh, great.
Bro, let's see. Riddick came away with 2 steals. NFT Doctor came away with 3 steals. Holy. Yeah, this is crazy. Decentralized got 3 of his stolen. Dude, I don't know. This is just fun to me. Like, I look at all this, and now I can ship. I'm absolutely going to roast Decentralized for getting 3 of his mints stolen. And if I look, I'm sure he's like somewhat close to the top. I'm sure I can find him somewhere. But nonetheless, this is just fun. Like, I look at this, and I'm like, man, this is a really fun way of going about it. We're going to be doing another one starting tomorrow for a 24-hour period, and then another one on Saturday. But they're going to be smaller batches. They're going to be 200 NFTs a piece. So, yeah, Kushal is saying sweet is just like Aptos. I think it has a little bit more longevity, but again, I'm not going over there until I'm proven otherwise. I completely agree, Kushal. I don't think I have any interest. The whole short-term, narrative was going to be fuddies, and fuddies haven't really performed that well because even with this, 50 SWE profit, SWE's gone down from, that 130-ish range that most people got in to like 1.05. So you're looking at about 20% drawdown or something. Crypto Craig is asking, do you like Oogie? I love the people over at Oogie. I'll tell you that much. The art's not really like it's not so much the art style. And I've said this multiple times on shows. It is so much the base model. I don't think the character looks that cool personally, but it's just not my taste. But the art work, like the line styles and the colors and some of the traits. I don't like mouth traits. I've said this for a while. I said it with our collection too. Like I think the bullet case in the mouth is sick. I think the grill's sick. But like the ledger in the mouth, I was like, that's a miss. that's a miss. But I mean, you're always gonna have some floor traits of some sort, right? So I like Oogie's artwork. I really like the team. I met Andy over in not Andy, but Justin over in NYC. All my friends met Andy. I didn't get to meet him. Cool guys, really cool guys. So yeah, Oogie is itself. I think they'll do just fine, man. They tapped into a really good community. They got really good leaders over there. I love the art style. I don't really like the base model. That's the only thing deterring me from it is I just don't think like the character base model looks that good. But nonetheless, yeah, this is heist. It's sick. Honestly, this turned out much better than I thought it would. We will be getting in systems to like claim your NFTs when you do win. But for right now, they're just going to be airdropped to you. And we'll be getting it out soon. So I think we already ran a script. They should be coming like within the day. And then we'll be doing it again tomorrow and Saturday. So you guys will have more chances of getting in if you want to. But yeah, this is fun. I like this. This is just more fun, man. Just more fun. So, Joe, what else should we talk about today before we wrap this up? Joseph.
That's a good question, man. I guess we could talk about any value plays we see right now, I guess, maybe.
Yeah. That's a really good call, actually. Kashal's asking when heist Google login. I mean, it's something we always think of. Probably going to roll out with like mobile whenever that releases, which is a higher priority, but it's not the highest. Right now, we got some core features we need to release. So thoughts on KYDS? I just know JShep's with them, or not JShep, JS is with them, and I like JS a lot, so I'm always interested in a project that JS is advising. Like Sandbar, I think Sandbar is the one I'm most interested in the near term until we get to Bodagos and Migos and Cyber Samurai's project as well. So those are really the ones that I'm eyeing on the future. So I think this month is going to be slow. I think it's going to be so slow for NFTs. In the meantime, like Joe's saying, there is some value out there. I will tell you my one value play right now, and it's a pretty hefty price tag, but I still think it's worth it, is Claynosaurs. And the reason I say Claynosaurs is because it's not any news or anything like that, but I was just looking at like loan to value, like over on Sharky and stuff like that. You can get a 50.5 SOL loan on a 54 SOL floor. Like that is an insane loan to value. Like for me, either Klano goes up, great, or Klano goes down and I take a 3.5 soul hit. Like, I don't mind that. And I'm happy to be proven wrong. That's just a great call option. I get 7 days to decide so. So maybe NFTs get some life breathed back into them. I think that one's for the amount of upside Klano has, always has. We love Klano on this show, big Klano fans. I just think that's a really good loan to value. Always want to take. As far as some other blue chips, I mean, like Mad Lads, I still think they probably got a little bit ways to go down. I saw a lot of collection bids pop off last night, like a lot. I don't know if you saw that, Joe, but there was a ton of selling into collection bids.
Yeah, I've been monitoring them, and that's why I haven't gone in. I've just seen super thick AMM pulls as well, like 200 plus, just getting plopped on the floor and moved around, delta, between 1% to 2%. And yeah, just not healthy price. It's just like if you're buying an NFT right now, it's got to be for a reason, right? I buy the heist. I bought more of the heist because one, I really enjoy just it gives me something to look forward to logging it like it really does. Two, I literally have my ROI almost back, and everything I start printing from now on is going to be straight cash, right? And I can reinvest in the game, make myself stronger, or I can hold it for a side or put it in the sinks. So yeah, that's a reason. Like another one, Cyber Frogs I bought, right? I'm holding to have access to Thor. Like that's a reason. That I have a true reason. Like if you're buying an NFT for price go up, it's not the time to buy it right now, right? It's like there's a slim chance of you making maybe 20, 30. If you're buying an NFT with a good project behind it, you're buying it for a reason. Price will then go up. There's a correlation. You don't have to buy it for price go up. You buy it because it's a true use, a true utility, true community, and then you hold right around now. This position of strength time. And then price goes up because you put your eggs in the right basket, right? The farmer is a good guy, right? He's watering his plants the right way.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Dude, I'm so interested in Cyber Frogs. Another one I missed that was completely blatant is sharks. Like, I don't know why I missed them either, because I use Sharkify all the time, and they came out with their rewards, revenue rewards, not revenue share, which I think is a very interesting way of wording it. And they probably talked to legal on that. That probably makes sense. But dude,
for sure.
They rocketed from 12 soul up to they're at 20.8 right now on Tensor. Like, that is a nice return. That is probably the one project that if you bought last week, you would have been a-okay. Like, I mean, and that's fine. I do think, like, I've outlined this too. I think this is a really good time, one, to get into heist, and I would get in after this weekend. Look, like I said, we have this recruitment phase that just ended. We got another one tomorrow, and then another one after that. If you want to play the Nana game and you like minting and all that good stuff, you can buy Nana and jump into the recruitment without even holding an NFT. So if you guys are interested in the heist, that's a really good way to get in. If you want something that's more guaranteed, you don't like playing the risk game, then I would go ahead and wait until like Sunday or so when all these NFTs are airdropped. Not saying they're all going to come online. In fact, we've had really good retention of recruitment staying within the game, but that's usually a good time that, there is going to be a little bit more supply coming on the market, especially after 900. So, like I think that's a really good time to start looking at it, is going to be on Sunday, Monday, because after this week, I'm telling you right now, this is the perfect market for us to take attention, because we actually have something to play. You know what I mean? So I think this is a really good time for Thor, because, you want to trade coins, you want to be more liquid. Thor's a really good asset to have, and everything coming with Cyber Frogs. I'm really excited to have Andy on the show. Finally, we've been going back and forth on getting him on the show for a while now, so we're going to lock in a time with him. But I am very curious as what Cyber Frogs is building towards, because I've heard him some spaces from him, and he's phenomenal. He's great. I think Mad Lads, I'm not interested in buying here, but if I see the bleeding stop, I want to buy more Mad Lads. More Claynosaurs, always good. I want a fox, but probably a trans-dimensional fox, not a actual fox. SMB I want to get back into. Degen Ape has their art rework coming at some point, which still don't know what that entails, because I love the DAA art. Maybe just take away the mouth traits. That's all I ask. Okay, Bears, interesting one. There's a lot of good plays that I'm just like looking at a chart and I'm like, this is probably a really good time to start looking to DCA into some. So, and then we got Door back too. Hi, Door.
Yo, dog, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get my mic on soon, but dog, I don't know what happened, man. It's like all of a sudden I got booted, and then I couldn't even go back on the stream, dog. I just got off the thing with support. I'm like, you're ruining the stream.
That's okay. Oh, I'm glad you're back. Door, what are you looking at as far as NFTs right now? And not ordinals or anything, because that's a totally different point. If you're looking at ordinals, the one thing I will say before we get into Door's picks is that I was listening to ZK this morning. Actually, he was on Easy's show, which, if you guys don't listen to Easy Show, Twitter Space every 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He does 2 spaces. They're about 45 minutes in length, so not a whole huge time commitment. But ZK was up there this morning. I caught the tail end of it. And I think his thesis is right, where he's saying, right now is a gold rush with BRC20 tokens. I think it'll froth up to the top. So Ordi, XING, Pepe, some of these like more top market cap are going to be the leaders. So if you're looking to mint and print, I'm not sure this is the time right now. But Ordi could be one of those that just has explosive growth and just ramps up from there. And then he said most of that liquidity is actually going to cycle back into ordinals themselves, like the NFT ordinals. So I would be very curious. One, I just, I love ZK, and I think ORU Fat's artwork is just super interesting, dude. I love it. It's so unique. Like Zero Monkey Business and the ordinal Maxi Biz is the art's just so fun to me. Like, it's completely different. You can pick it out of a 1,000 NFT projects.
Yeah,
like that's ORU Fat. So I would look to rotate money into there. I don't really know much else besides ordinals that I'd be curious to pick up. Probably Taproot Wizards, whenever it mints.
Maybe Bitcoin Bandits. I'm not fading them, but once again, I don't want to go too deep into ordinals right now, but it's like I saw Bitcoin Bandits on his run up, and I'm like, that was on the time I told you guys I was looking out for ordinal. Like, I was literally hunting, looking for a community, and I'm like, could this be the one? And then I decided not to, because it just didn't have that thing that I was looking for. Like, I don't know what that thing is, but when I saw Ordinal Maxi Business, I'm like, that's the thing. So like, Bitcoin Bandits is probably a solid community. So yeah, you could get in there, but I don't know if that's the one. Like, if you're going to spend liquidity on ordinals, that's the one you want to get into. Yeah,
I agree. But Dor, what's your take on NFTs right now? Is there anything you're eyeing before we wrap up the show?
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely, dog. Right now, because I want a little bit more depression on the market before I go shopping. And like, it's starting to get there, but it's just not enough yet. I need people ripping each other apart on Twitter. I need good, solid people being attacked in the space in order for me to go shopping. Once I start seeing Big Brain being attacked again, or DS being attacked, or some other good person in the ecosystem getting fudded, I'm like, now's the time to buy. So right now I'm just waiting for that to hit. But what I am looking out for, Blocksmith still. I definitely, with Migos coming up, I think that's a clear one. Purchasing, I don't know what the current price is, but I think anywhere between that 45 to 50 range is pretty much a steal. I don't think it'll get much lower than that. Most of the collection is being staked right now. So that, and of course, I got to talk about Cyber Samurai, dog. I mean, Cyber Samurai is sush, dude. All I'm saying is, we got something coming, dog. It's coming soon. So those are the two things I'm primarily looking out for. Mad Lads. Of course, Mad Lads. Y'all fading my boy Salami saying it ain't gonna drop to 42. Guess what? I still think it's gonna drop there. And I'm gonna just wait. I'm gonna see how long Solana can hang on with all the meme coins going on, where other things will pump in the ecosystem. I have no faith in you guys. I'm sorry. I love Solana, but expecting a new collection to hold a high floor price, that ain't gonna happen. Every collection has a pullback about like 50 to 60%. I know Joe's like, oh, this has already happened. I don't think it has, man. I think we're going to see that thing hit 40s, mid 40s at least. So I'm just waiting till then. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Yeah, 100%. I want more Mad Lads. I only have one. I traded out of my Galaxy at the perfect time and traded on the way up to get to the Galaxy. And then, I'm just riding this one for free, technically. And he's sick too. I love my Mad Lad. He's got the Picasso, or the Van Gogh smoke, I think is like the coolest trait in the collection. But that's just, besides skulls, but I'm priced out of skulls. Dude, I remember looking at skulls. There was one when they dropped down to like 30 SOL or something like that. There was one listed for 300, and I almost bought it, and I'm so upset I didn't. I could have been trade of the year. I could have retired from there. Actually, it would have been 1,500 SOL, but that's not retirement money. That's like half a year's salary or something like that. But still, that would have been a nice trade. That would have outclassed my youth trade, my bonk trade, all of that in one fell swoop. But yeah, I want more Mad Lads. I just think XNFTs are really going to be the next, like, it's just another thing that we got built on Solana that just shows the bull case for Solana. I think XNFTs are going to be the next wave. I think if you're building XNFTs or minting and you have an XNFT, and I think Backpack Mobile coming out in tandem with the Saga, which is now being, shipped to people, is going to be a game changer. I think it's going to change how we see technology. It's going to be the one thing that isn't just so price go up in Solana. And I think that's going to be a beautiful, beautiful thing. So totally agree with your picks. Yeah, I want more chimps, dude. I'm sorry. I'll answer some questions in chat real quick. Just heist related. Hey, Papa Romeo was asking, are the naming of class armors, i.e. Rogue shirt, a prelude to actual classes and heist? We don't plan on having Rogue in the game, but there is some, classes are definitely on the table for future seasons. So I'm not saying anything against that. You just probably won't see it season 1, and it's not high on our priority list. But alpha on heist airdrops, we set it in a couple of spaces now on our AMA and then Heistcast as well. It is a cosmetic that is tied to an in-game bonus, and some people will get it, some people will not. Everybody will get something though. So everybody is going to get something. Just have your game or have your NFT in the game. That's all that matters. And it's going to be fun too. It's going to be a very fun airdrop. If we
Wait, you can take your NFT out the game?
No, yeah, I don't take any of them out of the game. So
no.
Yeah, outside of that, look, it's gonna be a ton of fun. When Joe face reveal? That's what Kushal wants to know.
That's
Joe.
A great question.
Bro, probably never, dog, to be honest with you. Y'all are weirdos out here. I love y'all, but man, y'all be looking me up and trying to do all this extra stuff. But I love y'all, but never probably. This D guy represents me enough, bro. I'm ugly. You don't see my face anyway.
Joe's lying to you. Joe put us to shame. That's why he's not revealing. He's like, you know what? I don't want to hurt you boys. I'm like, I appreciate that, though.
No. Y'all are too
ridiculous. Okay. Anyways, I think that about wraps up the show, guys. Seriously, thank you guys so much. In a bear market, when everything's looking down, you guys take the time to listen to the show, watch the show wherever you're looking at it or listening to it. We do appreciate it. If you guys are looking for more RareFUD content, go ahead and shoot yourself over to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that bell notification. Dora is pumping out content from the show. And we might actually have some curated content in the future. Then we'll also upload the episode to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like I said, please leave a review, add it to your listen list. It does help tremendously. It does start pumping us up those numbers and leaderboards in a space devoid of crypto content right now. The last thing I'll say, and a little bit of alpha too, if you guys have not listened to Unlayered, they have their first podcast is called Solana is Dead, and it's with Mert, who is making Helios over on Solana. Does a lot of core code contributions to Solana itself, as well as other blockchains, but Solana itself. That is one of the best podcasts I've listened to in a while. It is so good. And it covers everything. I think it does like a very neutral job of covering Solana, but also talks about the bull cases for it too. So go listen to that. That's my homework for you guys, is go listen to that over the weekend. Go touch some grass. Solana's not going anywhere. NFTs aren't going anywhere. They're going to go up and down, but you can't control that, right? Let the market do its thing. Go have fun. Go pick up some heist, right? Not financial advice, do your own research, but we're having a ton of fun over here. And we got a couple more recruitment batches coming up. So that about does it for us on this show. Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of RareFUD Radio. We will see you next week, Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always.